Like, yeah, he absolutely debated the Ukrainian company Burisma into thinking that he had a lot more clout than he actually did. Like, they didn't hire him because, like, he had profound knowledge over energy. They hired him because he made it seem like he had an in at the White House because his daddy was the VP at the time, which was just a lie. You know what I mean? All right.
Quote.
Let's get to what our salaried public servants love doing, which is, of course, not a good job at all. A bad job. Deliberately a bad job. It is by design. Here we are. Here it is. This is what the Republican Party actually does, okay? Let's take a look.
Quote, Mr. Weiss has full authority to bring cases in other jurisdictions if he feels it's necessary. That was your response, Attorney General, to Senator Grassley's question on March 1st, 2023. You just referenced it when Mr. Bishop was questioning you. Only problem is he'd already been turned down by the U.S. Attorney in the District of Columbia, Mr. Graves. So he didn't have full authority, did he?
I had an extended conversation with Senator Grassley at the time. We briefly touched on the Section 515 question and how that process went. I've never been suggested.
My point's real simple, Mr. Garland. You said he had complete authority, but he'd already been turned down. He wanted to bring an action in the District of Columbia, and the U.S. Attorney there said, no, you can't. And then you go tell the United States Senate under oath that he has complete authority.
I'm going to say again that no one had the authority to turn him down. They could refuse to partner with him. They could not.
You can use whatever language. Refuse to partner is turning down.
Well, it's not the same under a well-known Justice Department practice.
Here's why the statute of limitations question is important, and Mr. Bishop was getting at just a few minutes ago.
I don't understand why Jim Jordan is upset when justice is not being served. Quite ironic that he's the guy who's like leading the helm here, considering his own background of like ignoring justice. Like when a wrestling coach under his watchful eye was just like systematically raping a bunch of students. That was really interesting. He's over here talking about like, wow, I can't believe you were denying justice being served in the Hunter Biden situation. How insane. It's like, bro, maybe Jim Jordan isn't the best guy. You know, maybe Jim Jordan is not the best guy in general, but certainly not the fucking best guy to talk about, obstructing justice or whatever.
Ago. Here's why it's important. You let the statute of limitations lapse for 2014, 2015. Those were the years with the felony tax charges where Hunter Biden was getting income from Burisma. Here are 4 facts that I think are so important. Hunter Biden was put on the board of Burisma, made a lot of money, got paid a lot of money over those years, a couple $1 million. He wasn't qualified. Fact number 2, he wasn't qualified to be on the board of Burisma. Not my words, his words. He said he got on the board because of his last name.
Why the fuck is this like something related to the current charges and like Merrick Garland? Like why? I don't like what? Like, are you the Better Business Bureau for the Ukrainian government or something? Like, what the fuck's happening? Like, yeah, he absolutely debated the Ukrainian company Burisma into thinking that he had a lot more clout than he actually did. Like, they didn't hire him because, like, he had profound knowledge over energy. They hired him because he made it seem like he had an in at the White House because his daddy was the VP at the time, which was just a lie. So what does Jim Jordan have to do with this? Like, why is Jim Jordan talking about this as though he is the Better Business Bureau for Ukraine? Like defending the, defending the profit-backed interest of a company that no longer even exists, Burisma, a Ukrainian company that no longer exists, and is directing these questions to the motherfucking AG.
The brand, as Devin Archer said when he was under oath and we deposed him. Fact number 3, Burisma executives told Hunter Biden, we're under pressure, we need help. Fact number 4, Joe Biden goes to Ukraine, leverages our tax money, American people's tax money, to get the prosecutor fired who was applying the pressure.
Like, all of this shit is not only patently false, but like there are people in the Republican Party that were pressuring and like wrote a bipartisan letter to Congress to fire Victor Shokin, who was not pressuring Burisma, but instead was protecting them from international scrutiny.
Interestingly,
But also, what does this have to do with the ongoing investigation? What does this have to do with like Attorney General Merrick Garland not doing a good enough job with the Hunter Biden probe? It's irrelevant fanfic. These guys are supposed to be agents of the state. They're supposed to be, making sure that people follow the law and conduct investigations into people who are violating the law. And of course, they're susceptible to outside political pressure. They always are. And part of that is also being extra scrutinizing of, Hunter Biden, the Joe Brandon fail son, and like hitting him on charges that otherwise no one else would really get glazed over. Okay. But this goes beyond that. The fact that there is already justice being served in the Hunter Biden gun charges and the Hunter Biden tax evasion circumstance means that like their pressure has already worked. Now they're just like sad that that pressure is not amounting to Joe Biden getting like impeached or some shit, or the attorney general not like arresting, not immediately going up to Hunter Biden's house and like arresting him under false charges. Like, what the fuck do you want?
enough, that fact is entirely consistent with what the confidential human source told the FBI, and they recorded in the 1023 form. The same form Mr. Wray didn't want to let this committee and the Congress.
The 1023 form is also, as we covered before, done by complete anonymity. It's like going to a drop-down FBI. That what he's talking about here. Oh, God, why do I even know the minutia of this kind of shit? It's so stupid. It is so stupid to know these things. I hate that I know this. It's so dumb. It's so irrelevant. I will never forgive the Republican Party for making me learn about things that are so stupid. It's a tip line, you fucking asshole. You could just go there right now and write a tip. You know how many, thousands of fucking things are reported to the FBI by mentally ill people, charlatans, just made up shit. Okay, you could go there and be like, Jim Jordan obstructed justice when his wrestling coach at Ohio State was raping students, and you could put that tip in, and that would, of course, be a valid one. Okay? It's just that not all confidential information is workable intelligence that you can act on. And it's so stupid to just be like, oh my God, there was a tip from a confidential informant. It's like, yeah, it's an anonymous tip from a drop-down menu on the FBI.gov website. Get the fuck out of here.
See, that all happened. And what I'm wondering is why you guys let the statute of limitations lapse for those tax years that dealt with Burisma income.
There's one more fact that's important, and that is that this investigation was being conducted by Mr. Weiss, an appointee of President Trump. You will, at the appropriate time, have the opportunity to ask Mr. Weiss that question, and he will no doubt address it in the public report that will be transmitted to the Congress. I don't know the answer to those questions.
Did they forget? Did the lawyers just like let it, did they just like, oh, darn, we let it, were they careless?
I expect that won't be what he says, but because I promise...
You know that's not the case, because as Mr. Bishop pointed out, they had a tolling agreement. They talked to Hunter Biden's defense counsel and say, let's extend the statute of limitations. And then at some point, they made an intentional decision to say, we're going to let the statute of limitations lapse. And I want to know who decided that and why they did it.
Mr. Weiss was a supervisor of the investigation at that time and at all times. He made the appropriate decisions, and you'll be able to ask him that question, and he will.
You know why they did it? Everyone knows why they did it. May not say it, but everyone knows why they did it. They didn't. Those tax years, that dealt with that involved the president. It's one thing to have a gun charge in Delaware. That doesn't involve the president of the United States.
Wait, what? Wait, what? No, it doesn't. Why would it involve the president? Bro, you could just fucking say whatever, dog. It's crazy, okay? You could just straight up say whatever the fuck you want, homie. It's awesome. Nuts.
But Burisma, oh my, that goes right to the White House. We can't have that. And we can slow walk this thing along. We can even extend the statute of limitations.
It's also idiotic because it's like, why why even ask him questions if you're just going to make shit up? Which, by the way, very effective strategy, mind you. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's not a very effective strategy. It really is. Okay? Truly is.
And then we can intentionally let it lapse. And we know this investigation was slow. Here's what everyone said. Shapley said, DOJ slow walked the investigation. Ziegler, slow walking in the approvals of everything. This happened at the Delaware's attorney's office and DOJ tax level. Mr. Sobocinski, the FBI agent, said, I would have liked to see things move faster. Ms. Holly said the same. Every witness we've talked to said this thing was slow walked, and we know why. They slow walked it long enough to let the statute of limitations run so they wouldn't have to get into Burisma. Tell me where I'm wrong.
Will the gentleman yield?
No, I'm asking Mr. Garland the question.
I think I've tried to make clear that I don't know the specifics of the investigation. Much of what you are describing occurred during the Trump administration, during a Justice Department appointed by President Trump.
No, it didn't. This is 4.5 years, this investigation. We're talking about the last few years. Your statement was just this year, March 1st, to Senator Grassley.
No, I'm sorry. I was trying to respond to your descriptions of what the IRS agents said about certain things.
Statute of limitations is 6 years. That lapsed here in the Biden administration.
On the statute of limitations, we'll say again that the explanation for why the statute of limitation was lapsed, if it was, has to come from Mr. Weiss.
My time is this, but let me ask one last question real quick here. Who decided that David Weiss would stay on as U.S. attorney?
Look, this had occurred before I came. Mr. Weiss had been kept on. I promised the...
no, I didn't say, you can walk all through that. I said, who decided? The White House decided.
Mr. Weiss,
right? They serve at the pleasure of the president, right?
Mr. Weiss was...
Joe Biden decided to keep David Weiss as U.S. attorney. You weren't sworn in until March. He was told he was going to stay on.
Wait, so what does that mean? Like, what's the implication? Like that they just knew that Mr. Weiss was going to be Joe Brandon's guy or something? Like, I don't get it. Yeah, they kept him on partially because Democrats love the aesthetics of impartiality, even if it doesn't fucking matter or make sense. Like, they always want to, they're rigid institutionalists. And that is the reason why they will do everything in their power to make it like, they will do everything in their power to be like, look at us, we're doing the right things. Like, they're such fucking little Boy Scouts. You know what I mean? I don't get it.
In February. Pretty fundamental question. Who decided David Weiss was going to stay as U.S. attorney in Delaware?
Mr. Weiss,
your time has expired.
Mr. Chairman, your time is...
I'm waiting for an answer, and then I'll...
I think in this circumstance, Merrick Garland could just literally get up and say, I did everything right and they indicted me, okay? Because that's precisely what's happening.
Well, you asked the question after your time had expired already. Point of order.
Gentleman can respond, then I'll go to Ms. Jackson-Lee.
They keep believing in the good faith of the Republicans and keep getting burned. Okay, first of all, I would say that if I believe that the Democratic Party simply did not know what the Republicans were doing. They know what they're doing. They don't even give a fuck. They're not real institutionalists, because if they were real institutionalists, sometimes they would have to fucking fight dirty. Okay? If you want to truly preserve the institutions, you have to fight dirty, and you have to make sure that Republicans come nowhere near power, because Republicans will always destroy, crumble the integrity of the institutions, because they'll do anything and everything they can to basically get their agenda across, even if they don't have the Democratic majority, which they rarely ever do on a lot of the issues, right? So the institutionalists in the Democratic Party end up destroying the institutions by looking the other way as the Republicans crumble them and weaponize them and use it to their advantage. So they're not real institutionalists. They just are cowards. They are not as honest as the Republicans are with their terrorism, okay? So they just kind of rely on the Republicans doing everything, being the bad guy, and they're the good cops. They're the good cops who are like, oh man, oh no, what can we do? What can we fucking do? There's not much I can do. So how do you guys think I did at my first day as the chairman of the Federal Reserve? Wait, what?
Mr. Weiss was the special U.S. attorney from the District of Delaware when I came on. He had been appointed by President Trump. I promised that he would be permitted to stay on for this investigation, and that is what happened.
Gentleman from Texas.
Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman from New York is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I believe you misquoted from the transcript of the Senate hearing. I therefore ask unanimous consent to enter into the record the entire transcript of the Senate hearing.
Without objection, but I didn't misquote what Mr. Garland said.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to
The gentleman from
Matt Gaetz grills Merrick Garland. You're blissfully ignorant. Like, they just have to sit there and get fucking nutted on, okay? This is a part of just, like, being a Democrat or being an operative of the Democratic Party. You just kind of have to sit there and let these fucking idiots just shit all over you, okay? Non-fucking stop.
floor is recognized. 5 minutes.
I guess I'm just wondering, Mr. Attorney General, has anyone at the department told President Biden to knock it off with Hunter? I mean, you guys are charging Hunter Biden on some crimes, investigating him on others. You've got the president bringing Hunter Biden around to state dinners. Has anyone told him to knock it off?
Our job in the Justice Department is
Has anyone told him to knock it off? Bro, there is one aspect of this that goes, I guess, somewhat unnoticed. Even I don't really cover it, but like Donald Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner and Ivanka were directly involved in the administration, like directly. Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, was put in charge of like facilitating deals with Gulf nation states. Like, what are we doing right now? And there was a direct quid pro quo with Kushner's properties. Like, that part of the conversation doesn't even get any play whatsoever. Because, like, I guess it's fine when Trump does it, and it's bad if, like, Joe Biden doesn't even fucking do it, but we can say that he did it. I hate this conversation because everyone is fucking corrupt. But there is this annoying, stubborn part of my brain that has to give you all of the details and all of the facts in a situation like this, and it ends up putting me in a position where I inevitably have to defend the facts of the matter, which end up being on the side of the Democrats in a stupid fucking low-stakes a conversation like this one. Okay? It just doesn't make any sense. It sucks. It's always like, yeah, the Democrats and Republicans are having a mid-off, but the Republicans are so far ahead of the game on their midness that, you know, they just kind of end up having me shit all over them, and I hate them for it.
to pursue our cases without reference to what's happening in the outside world.
Just yes or no. Have you done that?
That is what we do.
So it's a no?
No one that I know of has spoken to the White House about the Hunter Biden case.
I'm wondering then,
Of course not.
okay, I got it. So Hunter Biden is selling art to pay for his $15,000 a month rent in Malibu. How can you guarantee that the people buying that art aren't doing so to gain favor with the...
What? What the fuck? Bro. Donald Trump unceremoniously did not put his assets into a blind trust and simply let his sons control the assets, okay? Like, control his businesses. Because Biden doesn't have an equivalent here, Republicans can't even hit him on this. So now they're fucking saying that, like, what if Hunter Biden and any kind of commerce he engages in is actually done at the behest of, like, gaining favor in the Biden administration? It's like, it's so frustrating, dude. It is so fucking annoying. Fuck Hunter Biden. I hope he goes to jail, okay? Fuck it. He'll be the king of jail, all right? He'll have a great time in there. Maybe he'll develop his crack addiction again, okay? I don't care about Hunter Biden, but, like, the idea that, like, these guys are the watchdogs of corruption when they are the very beneficiaries of said corruption and have done it in a more flagrant, more transparent way with with years and years of the Democratic Party crying foul and not really doing anything about it, is so frustrating. It's fucking nutty. Two of the guys that are being, this guy, investigated by the federal authorities because him and his bestie were trafficking minors, okay? His bestie's in jail for sex trafficking minors. He was under that investigation. He was able to somehow drop the investigation. It was reopened, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? He literally went to Donald Trump to ask for a pardon. And also, there's Venmo records of him paying for the Venmo of a minor. Okay? Like, these are, like, they're criminal on their own lives and in their own misconduct. Okay? Not only that, but on top of that, when you look at the Democratic Party and their feckless ineptitude, like, there were 300 plus ethics violations in the Trump administration in like the first year. Okay? There was a new ethics violation for every day of the goddamn year, pretty much. And none of these investigations happened. None of these investigations happened. What the fuck? And then these guys can't even tie Joe Biden to anything, like any kind of malpractice, anything that even looks shady. So they're just literally fucking sitting here chirping, using tax dollars on how, well, if you bought a fucking piece of ugly ass art from Hunter Biden's like art collection, who's to say you didn't do it because you wanted to gain favor with the White House? How can you fucking sit there if you are a Democrat? Okay, if you're a lover of the Democratic Party, or if you're a Democratic operative, how can you just fucking sit there and not just want to hurt them? You know what I mean? You have power. Why don't you actually operate in the way that these guys claim you operate? In an openly and flagrantly partisan way. Why don't you do that? Just do it. They do it all the fucking time. They're doing it now. They're doing it when they're not in power. Okay? I hate this like civility bullshit. Just do it. And by the way, what I am asking is not even something that will truly shake the material hierarchy that we exist under. It's just like, do politics. Like, it's not even anti-capitalist actions that I'm demanding from the Democratic Party. It's just simply like, don't be such fucking big-ass pushover bitches, okay? Like, I personally feel like doing the things that the Republican Party does, because politics is all about spite, as Matt Christman perfectly demonstrated. In America, neither side has any interest or any belief that the government is going to improve their material circumstances, their material realities. They don't have any belief in the government doing the right thing. So politics is now just a game of like hurting my opponent, right? Both sides are spite-driven, but the Democrats won't even do the spite-driven shit. Just do it. Just play the fucking game. Republicans constantly threaten that, like, oh, if you open up this can of worms, well, then we're going to use it against you. And it's like, they always use it against the Democratic Party. Who gives a shit? Just do it. Make better content, you know? Stand up. It's so fucking annoying. And I do not understand, like, what benefit this has. If anything, if the Democratic Party at least, like, stood up for itself and, like, did these like erroneous, silly, long, comprehensive investigations, which they would actually be significantly more fruitful in the Republican side doing it to the Democrats, because American corruption is streamlined, it's legalized, right? And the Democrats play by the book. Republicans, on the other hand, in many instances, don't play by those books, don't play by those rules, right? Like, that's the problem here. Because what they're talking about with respect to Hunter Biden isn't necessarily, morally righteous. It's not. It's not. Hunter Biden is absolutely a beneficiary of nepotism. He got a job that he did not deserve to have, and he got a shit ton of money for it. He might have duped the Ukrainian authorities and the Ukrainian energy company Burisma to make them think that he had a lot more access in the Obama White House than he actually did, but it doesn't matter. Like, he was being corrupt. Okay? That much is true. But they got it too. Just sling back at him. Don't be such fucking pushovers. I feel like if you did the same shit to the Republican Party, not on like some face-saving bullshit like, oh, everything is Russia, everything is Russia, everything is Russia. Hillary Clinton lost not because she was unlikable, but because of Russia. And instead of doing all that shit, like, look into the actual financial misdeeds of the Trump administration, like the Democratic Party, or not necessarily the Democratic Party, but the criminal justice system has so far, okay? and hold the Republicans accountable a little bit, I feel like that would at least instill a little bit of confidence in the average American, in the average Democratic Party voters' minds that, like, oh yeah, they are actually giving the hurt where they do hurt. Because think about it this way. I'm no fan of the Democratic Party, but I certainly enjoy watching Republicans squeal, right? I love that shit. I still follow all the Matt Cases members on Insta before they all lock down to get to see some goofy pics of him. Hell yeah. Like, even someone like myself, who absolutely is no fan of the fucking Democratic Party, can at least have a little bit of fun watching these goddamn hogs squeal. You know what I mean? Make them squeal. One says, don't be a pussy about the border cages, and the other side says, don't be a dick about the cages. Yeah, pretty much. They think decorum keeps them in power. Look at the dress code shit. I mean, that part is also stupid. Everyone thinks that that's important. Both Democrats and Republicans, like institutionalists, care about that shit. Democrats don't push back because if they did, they would win more often. Then they would lose the dichotomy of Republicans bad, and they would benefit from Republican bullshit policy and laws. I guess. I don't know. They should spend their time using their money on making a biopic about Hunter Biden. At least that would be entertaining for everyone. Not this boring waste of time and bullshit they drag US dollars into. They should also fucking pay for the subscription of every single Hassan Abi head for the crime of making us watch this. Okay? Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And at least Hassan Abi heads should be government subsidized. Okay? In the form of a $5 a month subscription or a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime or by gifted subs, you know? The government should be gifting subs to Hassan Abi heads at the top of the fucking hour because there's a 3-minute ad break coming and they don't have any money left because they just fucking dumped their entire paycheck on the new motherfucking ideology drop that just came out. They got the Live and Alive tee. They got the Get Bread or Get Dead crew neck. This one apparently is sold out already, from what I understand. Darkest Fortune, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs. Miss Sue's YB, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Who are you on the phone with? You really want me to fucking answer that, dude? Your mom, brother. What do you mean? Everything is sold out? No, it's not. Is it? No shot. No, it's not sold out. The Get Bread or Get Dead crew neck is not. The Hassan hoodie, the anger management is not sold out. I love that one. I love both of the crew neck and the hoodie. They're fucking fire. I mean, I love all of this one. The Marlboro one sold out, though, immediately. The Live and Alive tee, the double XL, has been sold out, apparently. I'm looking at it now. Han Hulves, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Not your Empire tee, the XL and the double XL is sold out. God damn. Shit is getting sold out. Crew necks are still in stock, luckily. False Consciousness tee, the large XL, 2XL, 3XL, all sold out. Holy fuck. Damn, we got a bunch of big boys in the building. But yeah, the hoodie and the crew neck have not, which is surprising. I thought those were the ones who would go first. You see Schumer is voting on getting at least the 3 heads of the military filled. Print more than 4 shirts per size, God damn it. Brother, we are not. If you think we didn't print a fuck ton, I don't know what to tell you, okay? Can you explain why streamers are doing drops that sell out in the first few hours? No, dude, because the real reason is because streamers have incredibly fucking passionate fan bases. And that's usually where it comes from. The reality is that, like, that's it. Cause it's not like we don't, make enough. What the fuck is going on? Uber capitalist is on. Hell yeah, baby. Yes. All matter of commerce is done under, capitalism.
The president.
All right, let's get back to this shit.
Job of the Justice Department is to investigate criminal allegations. You have information.
Are you investigating this? I mean, someone who bought Hunter Biden's art ended up with a prestigious appointment to a federal position. Doesn't it look weird that he's become this immediate success in the art world as his dad is president of the United States? Isn't that odd?
I'm not going to comment about any specific.
Not going to comment, not going to investigate. So
right.
Hunter Biden is
not going to comment, not going to investigate. Every single person that has purchased Hunter Biden art needs to immediately be thrown in jail. And it's like not even fucking related. Not even remotely related to the actual, financial misgivings or misdeeds that tie them back to the Brandon administration. They should just be thrown in jail for having the worst fucking taste in art. Okay?
Associate Devin Archer told us that Hunter sold the appearance of access to then Vice President Biden. Are you confident he has stopped doing that?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Hunter Biden associate Devin Archer told us that Hunter sold the appearance of access to then Vice President Biden. Are you confident he has stopped?
I'm going to say again that all these matters are within the purview of Mr. Weiss. I have not interfered with them, and I do
but if
not.
you were confident that he had stopped, you could.
And I do not
probably
intend
tell
to
us
interfere with
he
him.
had. I want to. So it was a lot of Chinese money that was working its way through these shell companies into the accounts of the Biden family. So the China initiative was set up during the Trump administration at the Department of Justice to go after the malign influence of the Chinese Communist Party. And the Biden Justice Department dissolved the China initiative. So I guess I'm wondering, does the department have any documents that would detail the basis for why you got rid of the China initiative that President Trump had set up?
The Assistant Attorney General of the National Security Division gave a long speech which explained that. He has testified.
Yeah, they have a live migrant cross-border cam, dude, which is fucking insane, but, you know, I guess unsurprising.
Before Congress several times. We'd be happy to provide you with
What's the basis? Just tell us all now. Why was the China initiative dissolved?
What the Assistant Attorney General said was that we face attacks from 4 nation states: North Korea, China, Russia, and Iran, and that we need.
What's so bad about that? Really? You can't tell what's like fucking gross and weirdly you can't figure out what's like gross and dehumanizing about that. You can't figure out what the reason for why they have that down there. It's to like strike fear in the minds of reactionary Americans that like there's like this genuine invasion happening. We're so broken. We're so broken that we don't even have like we don't even understand like putting a camera on human beings like it's a goddamn reality TV show like they're fucking zoo animals doesn't even like strike a chord in people's minds. Like it's not even a red flag at this point, you know what I mean? Crossbond 3S, thank you for the 5 gifted.
Need to focus our attention on the broad range of these attacks. Sometimes we don't know.
Wait a second. Are you saying that North Korea has the same malign influence risk to the United States as the Chinese Communist Party? Are you trying to represent there's some parity there? Because here's what it looks like. It looks like the Chinese gave all this money to the Bidens, and then you guys came in and got rid of the China initiative, and it was successful. Like
this part is really funny because like imagine thinking that Hunter Biden has any influence on American Chinese affairs and not like the trillions of dollars of commerce and the capital owners that represent those interests. Like it's Hunter Biden getting like you know, like $1 million emerald or whatever the fuck that actually completely busted open this Chinese nut, you know? That's awesome, dude. Yeah, no, totally. It's that the American government's that penetrable that like it's not actually built as this bourgeois state specifically to represent the interests of capital owners and whatever capital owners want is going to happen. And capital owners, obviously, regardless of the incredibly reactionary rhetoric, the xenophobic rhetoric that you hear about fucking China, that like there is trillions of dollars of back and forth trade at play. They are our manufacturing hub still, okay? That like that is not a part of the decision-making process, but instead it's like Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is capable of changing the dynamic with China. Like, for the record, they're talking about all this like Ivanka Trump's deals with China weren't suspect. They were, but it doesn't matter because Ivanka Trump has absolutely no way of like changing the outcome of what the across-the-board American policy is going to be. Okay? The Chamber of Commerce is not going to let fucking Ivanka Trump change foreign policy with respect to China. If there was one administration that would be nutty enough to like actually go against the interests of the Chamber of Commerce, it would be the Trump administration, let's be real. But even then, it's very unlikely. And Kushner and his dealings with the Saudi government is entirely different because Saudi Arabia is our fucking allies. They can't use it in the other direction, okay? Ukraine, supposed to be a client state, right? Hunter Biden can't change the military-industrial complex's interests in Ukraine. Hunter Biden can't change the American foreign policy apparatus and their overarching interests in Ukraine and wanting to bring in Ukraine to the Western sphere of influence. Like Hunter Biden can't be the standalone guy that says, no, we're going to stop that from happening. That is absolutely psychotic. You can only go and lean in the direction, if you could, of whichever way the corrupt money is flowing. That's why it's hilarious that these guys are like, Hunter Biden did this. It's like, did he? Did he do that? Because did he also, I don't know, did he get the IMF and the World Bank to also want Viktor Shogun to be fucking taken out of power? Did he get the CIA to want Viktor Shogun to be taken out of power? Did he get the NGOs to want, did he get the NGOs in Ukraine that are working and civil society organizations that are working in Ukraine that are part of the apparatus, the foreign policy apparatus, to want Viktor Shogun out of power? How did he do that? How is he so powerful? He must be the most powerful, most charismatic man in America. He's the greatest foreign lobbyist in the history of the United States.
I saw one rationale that you guys got rid of the China initiative because it was racial profiling. But one of the people you convicted was a guy named Charles Lieber, who was a Harvard professor taking $50,000 a month to do China's bidding and give them whatever research was being done. Are you aware of the millions of dollars that moved through Rob Walker's shell companies from Chinese Communist Party entities into Biden family bank accounts? Are you aware of that?
There were a lot of questions that you just asked. Let me start with the first one about North Korea. North Korea is a dangerous actor, both kinetically and with respect to cyber.
But not on par with China. I'm on the Armed Services
I'm not in the
Committee, Mr.
business
Attorney
right
General.
now.
Yeah, okay. The idea that, like, at first I thought he was making a joke because he was like, why would you ever compare North Korea to China? Like, I thought he was being serious in the sense that, like, you know, like, obviously we're going to have different relations with China, which we do trade with, as opposed to North Korea, which is, like, basically propped up by doing cryptocurrency schemes, like scamming crypto scammers and stealing their, like, cyber wallets or whatever, right? And that we have no trade relations with, which, by the way, I'm fully in favor of North Korea. Basically cyber currency, Bitcoin and the like, have created a wonderful opportunity for the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or the Popular Korea, if you want to call it that, which I like to call it that, has been able to create an entire new industry, okay? In favor of North Korea, yes. They're fucking broke as fuck. What do you want? It's the most ethical way that they can survive, okay? If you are completely shut out from the global marketplace, if you're completely shut out from the global marketplace, instead of like, this is an even more victimless crime than like robbing banks, okay? They're robbing the scammers. They stole $43 million from stake.com, dude. Like 9 of that came directly out of Eddie's pockets. I mean, he has so much money, he doesn't give a shit about $9 million being lost, but like, it's pretty funny that like the only way that they can generate value, generate some level of income is by fucking literally stealing money from cryptocurrency people. It's such a funny way. Hassan, they are prolific ransomware actors. Yeah, I know. I mean, as long as their cybersecurity operations don't pertain to like genuine victims, like if they're fucking ripping crypto boys out, like that's fine.
It makes you look unserious to suggest
May
that.
I answer your question or not?
Answer the question.
Yeah. DPRK GDP up 100% from stake heist, dude. Yeah, the Lazarus Group is who I'm, of course, referencing. Also known by other monikers such as Guardians of Peace or the Who Is Team, is a cyber crime group made up of an unknown number of individuals run by the government of North Korea. While not much is known about the Lazarus Group, researchers attributed many cyber attacks to them between 2010 and 2021. Originally a criminal group, the group has now been designated as an advanced persistent threat due to the intended nature, threat, and wide array of methods used when conducting an operation. Names given to cybersecurity organizations include Hidden Cobra, used by the DHS to refer to malicious cyber activity by the North Korean government in general, and Zinc by Microsoft. The Lazarus Group has strong links to North Korea. The FBI says that Lazarus Group is allegedly a North Korean state-sponsored hacking organization. According to North Korean defector Kim Kuk-song, the unit is internally known as North Korea as the 414 liaison office. North Korea benefits from conducting cyber operations because it can present an asymmetric threat with a small group of operators, especially the South Korea. They have literally no other method of like engaging in global commerce or anything like that. So they just straight up they just have an army of hackers. Yeah, they're doing Jusha crimes, okay? Hacksaw shit, yeah. Asymmetric threat means they're good at it? Yeah, they're too good at it with such a small group of operators is what that means.
About whether or not you know about all the millions of dollars that
So
moved
you
through
don't
Rob
want me to
Walker's
answer about North Korea?
I already know the answer, and so does everyone. They're not the same risk as China. So let's get on to serious questions and serious answers. Do you know about the money that moved through Rob Walker's shell companies, yes or no?
As I have said repeatedly, I have left these matters to Mr. Weiss. I've not...
For the record, I'm not saying that like all of the targets of the Lazarus group are like valid. I'm just making a joke. Okay? It's funny if they stole people's apes. Not so funny if they like robbed other governments that are also incredibly poor, you know?
intruded, I've not interfered, I've not tried to find out what he knows.
It's like you're looking the other way on purpose because everybody knows this stuff's happening. And you know what? People don't pay bribes to not get something in return, right?
That's a self-report, homie.
The China initiative resulted in the convictions of a Harvard professor, of someone at Monsanto. So we were working against the Chinese. They paid the Bidens, and now you're sitting here telling me that North Korea.
This part is also fucking stupid because like the American government is a sieve. Sieve is a leaky faucet. It's not a leaky faucet. It's a sinking ship with respect to so many legal points of entry. Okay? Like there are so many legal points of entry and influence into the American government, especially through 501c4s and whatnot. It's like so stupid to just be like, no, you know what our entry point is? Hunter Biden's paintings. Like, what are you saying? Like, what are we talking about here? Just set up a legal lobbying operation. Why the fuck do you need to do that?
Korea is the big threat. I got to get to this one thing on January 6th. So did the FBI lose count of the number of paid informants on January 6th?
Let me answer your question about China.
I want you to answer this question. I only get 5 minutes. You've already sort of, I think, screwed the pooch on China. So January 6th, did you lose count of the number of federal assets? Did you lose count and order an audit?
Gentleman's time has expired.
I get an answer to the question of did they lose count?
No, let him answer the question.
The time has expired. The Attorney General can respond.
China is the most aggressive, most dangerous adversary that the United States faces, and we are doing everything within our power to rebut that, to stop that, to prevent their invasions, both kinetic, and through cyberspace. And we will.
Wait, what do you mean kinetic invasions? We're trying to stop the kinetic Chinese invasions? The fuck? What does that mean? How is China invading the United States of America? He does not mean the fucking balloon, right? I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. There ain't no fucking way, dog. Secret police stations? Stop. Ay, ay, ay.
If someone gave that answer in your courtroom when you were a judge, you would tell them.
I guess he means like actual spies and shit, like the one that Eric Swalwell was fucking. Remember that one? Remember when Eric Swalwell was clapping the Chinese spy's cheeks? Such a weird point of entry. Again, who knows what? You fucking suck, dude. Wait, what? Wait, why? What did I do? The Chinese are setting up towns in our cities, Hasanabi. Yeah. And you know what's the worst part about it? The Chinese government is setting up shop in American cities and major metropolitan areas, and they're doing it right in front of our eyes. Okay? They call it Chinatown. It's really fucked up. They've made movies about it, dude. Wake up! Wake up!
They were being non-responsive, and you would direct them to answer the question.
Point of order, Your Honor.
Time is.
Point of order,
time is expired.
I got it. I was.
You like Your Honor? You want to stick with that?
Yeah, I was getting laughed at you call me Your Honor.
Point of order either way.
Okay, I understand that too.
All right.
But the gentleman asked his question before his time expired. The Attorney General did not respond to the gentleman's question. I was hoping he would respond to the question about the confidential human sources on January 6th. He didn't respond to that. I'm sure we're going to get an answer to that later.
Of course,
Now-
Mr. Chairman,
now
there were
recognize
8
the
questions
gentleman-
before that he was not given a chance.
Understand,
So
but-
the witness might have thought.
But the witness doesn't,
This is
Mr.
his
Chairman,
chance to
point of
answer
order.
the
The
question.
witness does not control the time.
Hang on. Exactly right. Members control the time. If they want to switch their question and focus on one more question that they'd like an answer to, I want to give the witness a chance to respond to that final question that Mr. Gates asked. He didn't respond to it.
Hey everyone, I'm
Oh my God. Okay. Moving on from the grill sesh.